I'm Man One.
I'm Scott Power.
And we're the founders of Man One Design, and we're here in downtown LA at my gallery, Crew West.
Man One Design is graffiti for brands. We saw that more brands, more organizations were wanting to use graffiti art to, be cool, be hip, be relevant, be contemporary. And so we said, gosh, let's make it easy for people to find professional graffiti art and design that they can count on, that will be on brief, on budget, and on time.
Basically, I got involved in graffiti in high school. I was really influenced by murals in LA, Chicano artists. My style ended up being very colorful. I ended up going to college and getting a degree in fine art. And after I got my degree, I started getting calls from Coca-Cola, MTV, Nike. All these companies started finding me and just asking me if I was interested in collaborating with them on murals or campaigns. So that's where Man One started.
I got my start as a graphic designer and worked for ad agencies and publishing companies. One of the companies that represented me as an artist offered me a job as an art rep. When I met Man One, when I moved to LA, I was fascinated by the fact that he was getting these calls without even trying. So what that told me was that he had a product that people wanted. I said, gosh, let's see what we can do to team up.
And we ended up starting Man One Design.
We work with all kinds of companies, big and small. Nike, Coke, Disney, CarMax, Puma, Unilever.
I think one of the cool projects that we recently did was for Semantic.
More and more companies are coming to us to create unforgettable experiences and moments for the brands. And so Semantic had called, and they were going to have a global conference for sales and marketing in Vegas. And they asked us to create an interactive art exhibit.
They closed down the entire Caesar's Palace swimming pool. I was on a stage. I got to paint a graffiti piece in front of thousands of people from all over the world who were here for this conference.
But then the panels were shipped back to the offices all over the world. So now our design work is in Africa and Asia and Europe and all over North America.
It's kind of cool to not only use my art as a visual tool at an event like that, but also as a piece of entertainment for the people in attendance. The way I fit in my vision into the brand's identity or whatever, it varies from project to project, but from a design point of view, I approach it, what is the most far out thing I can create for them? Because then they'll go for this other middle of the ground way. By the time they get to us, it's usually because they want some kind of flavor. A lot of the times we're able to expand their vision and show them a whole new set of artistic possibilities within their project that they never even thought of.
They don't have the luxury of time and freedom to sort of think big and dream big about what their brand can be, what their event can be, what their design can be. That's the role we play. One of the great projects that we worked on was this young winemaker, Robert Plata, calls us up and says, starting this wine label, can you guys help me with the branding? Can you help us with the packaging? He cared about using art to make an impact. So we designed the branding, we designed the packaging, we brought some of our artists to bear, Man designed some labels, and in fact, the Smithsonian Art Institute called us up to invite us to submit our designs to their permanent wine art collection. And now, Plata wines have been accepted into it at the Smithsonian. So, it's that kind of impact that art can have for brands if a brand is willing to sort of take that risk.
When you start working for these brands, all of a sudden you get this new, followership. You get people who definitely wouldn't stop in an alley and check out some graffiti, but now they know who you are, or they like a piece of art on a product and they investigate, and next thing you know, they're buying art at a gallery, or they become collectors, or they just become aficionados of the art form. And that little change that you can make, a positive change that you can make, becomes just multiplied, because there's so many artists in the world doing this now, and it's such a huge movement that each one of us contributing that little bit is just going to eventually transform the world in one way or another, and that's truly what I believe,